Hello and welcome back to IT Bible. My name is Connor, and we're going to learn how to install Proxmox today. Now, what is Proxmox? Proxmox is a virtualization environment in which you are able to take one physical server and slice it into multiple separate smaller servers. So, in essence, you're making one server into multiple servers, and you're making them. You can have them all either work together or work independently. It doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and get started, and we will start with downloading Proxmox, then we'll go to install Proxmox, and I'll give you a little more information on the project that I'm going to be working or starting here shortly that involves Proxmox, and it'll allow you to understand why I'm making some of the decisions that I'm making. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to proxmox.com, and it'll take you to this page here. So we're interested in the virtualization project. So we will go click on virtualization, and then we will go ahead and click download here. And then we will pick the latest installer. I'm gonna just do the ISO installer or without BitTorrent. So I'm just gonna click download here, and we will let it download. Okay, now that Proxmox is downloaded, in this case, to make it easier for you guys to see and for just ease of use, I'm going to be installing it in a separate hypervisor, but you should most likely be installing it on a piece of physical hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up VMware Workstation. And as you can see, I've got my VM here. I've already got it configured. So we're going to go ahead and power that on. Make it a little bit bigger so it's visible. So we're going to go ahead and install Proxmox. So I've been using Proxmox since 2013 on and off. Basically, my whole home lab prior to me moving was running Hyper-V. It was running Proxmox, and a lot has changed since I started using it to now, which is great. Because before you used to have to do different things for network configs and do a lot of manual configuration, which kind of sucked at the time. So I'm going to say United States. My time zone is America, Chicago. I'm going to make my root password, which is going to be super secure. 50. And we're gonna leave that all the same. I'm gonna be making a lot of internal changes to my network here shortly, which I will likely make videos on, but for the time being, I'm just running off of a cheap router. So I'm gonna go ahead and click install, and we're gonna let it go through the install process. Okay, so now the install is complete. We are going to let it reboot, and while it does the reboot, we are going to bring up our web browser. So while it reboots, we're going to go ahead and bring up web browser. Go to we're going to go 192.168.150, 8006. Yours might be different. Also helps if you put HTTPS. And we're going to log in with root and our password we created. And now we are in our cluster environment, or not really a cluster, but at this point, but we're in our Proxmox environment. Get this out of the way. Make sure we don't have any updates going here. System's up to date, so we're good there. So let's go ahead and try to create a VM real quick. I need an ISO. So let's go ahead and upload an ISO. We're gonna go to ubuntu.com. We're gonna go over to the server. Manual installation. Alternative releases is what I want. Okay, we'll just do this. So we're going to go to download from URL. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try it. Actually, it probably will if I take that out. We're going to go ahead and click download, and we'll let the server itself download the ISO. Okay, download is completed. So we will go ahead and try to create our VM now. So we're storing it locally for the time being. We're gonna do Ubuntu. Next, or click there. I'm just gonna leave all of this as default. We're gonna give it 100 gigs, even though we don't really need to. Give it 4 cores, 4 gigs of RAM. keep the network as default, confirm. So now if we go to our VM here, so now we want to, oops. Boot to Ubuntu server. I don't remember what resources I gave it, but I'm guessing I didn't give it enough because it is extremely slow. But this is also possible, likely, the possibility of this just being slow because of the fact that I'm running a VM inside of a VM is more likely to be the cause of the issue. And I know that none of that just came out of my mouth really made any sense, but anyways, this is really, I mean, we can see that the VM is running. It's getting networking from my LAN here. It's using the VirtIO drivers. So, I mean, it looks like it's working to me. And I think once I get this low powered cluster that I'm going to create purchased, I think it'll be an interesting thing to play with and get everybody's input on. So I hope you learned something. I'm glad you stuck around, and if you could give me a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, or if you want to follow along in this series, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said in the video, I am planning on creating a low-powered cluster that hopefully anybody can be able to create. It's not like it's going to be some it's not like it's going to be something that only I can do. My goal is to walk everybody through the whole process and show you all of the components that are required to create this. The only downside to it is kind of expensive, and I'm going to be trying to figure out how to purchase all the components, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So I hope that I hope that you stick around, and I hope that you follow like the idea that I'm coming up with, and I will see you in the next video.